I was 17 when this happened. It was late December, and my parents had left for a weekend trip. I stayed home because of school and because, at that age, I thought I was responsible enough to handle myself. The first night was normal. Too normal, actually. Around 11 p.m., I started hearing faint noises. Not loud banging, more like soft footsteps. I told myself it was the house settling or the heater clicking on, but the sounds were coming from the hallway, right outside my bedroom door. I paused my movie and listened. Silence. I brushed it off and went to sleep. The second night changed everything. Around 1 in the morning, I woke up suddenly. I didn't know why. The house was completely silent. No wind, no heater, no creaking, but something felt wrong. I slowly sat up and realized my bedroom door was open. I always sleep with it closed. My heart was already beating fast. I tried telling myself that maybe I forgot to shut it, but I knew I didn't. Then I heard it. A slow, dragging sound from the hallway, like something sliding across the floor. I froze. I whispered, "Hello," hoping it was somehow my imagination. No answer. I reached for my phone, but the screen was dead. I must have forgotten to charge it. Great timing. I got up, walked toward the door, and peeked into the hallway. The light from the street barely lit anything. It looked empty. I turned to go back to my room, and that's when I saw him. A figure, tall, still, standing at the very end of the hallway. It looked like a person, but the shadows covered most of his face. I didn't breathe. He didn't move. We just stood there, staring at each other in complete silence. Then, in the most calm, horrifying voice, he said, "I thought you were asleep." My lungs felt like they collapsed. I slammed my door, locked it, and pushed my dresser in front of it. I jumped out my window into the cold night, barefoot, and ran to my neighbor's house. The police arrived and found footprints inside. They found a kitchen knife lying on the hallway floor, but they never found the men. My bedroom door had signs of being picked open. Whoever that was, he was already inside before I went to sleep, and he was waiting. In 2019, I was babysitting my sister's newborn while she worked an overnight shift. The baby slept upstairs in the nursery, and I stayed downstairs watching TV. I had a baby monitor on the coffee table, so I could see and hear everything. Around midnight, the monitor made a weird crackling noise. I assumed it was interference from the Wi-Fi. Then I heard a whisper. It wasn't the baby. It wasn't crying or cooing. It was a voice. A man's voice. He whispered, quietly but clearly, "Are you awake?" My blood ran cold. I stared at the monitor. The baby was asleep in her crib. The room looked normal, except the door to the nursery was slightly open. I knew I had closed it. I turned up the volume. Static, then breathing. Slow, heavy, definitely an adult. "Hello," I said cautiously into the monitor, thinking maybe the device was picking up someone else's signal. The breathing stopped. Then I heard footsteps in the nursery. Slow ones. I felt sick. Everything inside me screamed to run, but the baby was up there. I grabbed a kitchen knife and slowly climbed the stairs. Every step felt like I was walking into a nightmare. When I reached the top, I could hear movement inside the nursery. Someone was in there. I pushed the door open quickly. The room was empty. The window was cracked open, letting in cold air. The curtains were blowing. I rushed to the crib. The baby was safe, still sound asleep. I checked the closet. Empty. Under the crib, nothing. But when I looked at the window frame, I saw something that made my heart jump. Dirty footprints. One set, leading into the house. None leading out. Whoever climbed in, never climbed back out. I called the police immediately and locked myself in the bathroom with the baby until they arrived. They searched the entire house and eventually found him and hiding behind boxes in the basement storage room. He had been watching and listening through the baby monitor. The detective told us the men had been living in abandoned houses for months, breaking in at night, and sometimes staying. But the worst part, he told the police he only hid because the woman came upstairs too fast.